Good morning and welcome to the craft room. I'm Ellie Barnes. I'm sorry I wasn't with you last week, but unfortunately my ticker decided to give everyone a bit of a merry ride and meant a trip to the hospital, and they liked me there so much that I had trouble getting them to let me come home. But I'm home now and I'm really excited that I can come and to see you this morning, and we can get together and create another card. It is another Blokes card because we are doing men's cards this month in preparation for Father's Day. So I do want to get down to the table and show you all about it. But before I do, I better make sure we are going live in the right place. It's been over a week since I've sat in here, so I'm not sure I've got everything going right, but hopefully we'll find that everything's happening okay. But if there's any troubles, just give me a hoy and I'll keep an eye out for comments and try and fix any problems I'm having. But I think we're all okay. It's funny how a week away from your craft room and you've forgotten how to do everything. In fact, I even designed this card for last week, so I'm not really sure I've got all the memory of what I decided to do. So we'll give it a fun go. All right, let's turn you down to the desk, and hopefully I can do this without too much interruptions. Who knows? Let's get off the ceiling, down to the desk. Oh, and I'm not very good. I've got everything showing, haven't I? Now, if I squeeze it along, I've forgotten how I did this. I've got to get it set right. Sorry, just bear with me. That's looking a bit better. Oh, it doesn't want to sit up high enough. That's where I need it. Now, can I get it to stay? That's better. It's all swinging around a bit at the moment. It's not used to behaving itself for me. We'll just push this up. We're there. Okay, it could be better, but we've got it happening. So let's get started. We're going to do this set here called the Bistro burger. It's great. It's got great big words, and I love this. You're kind of a big deal, and Happy Father's Day. That's a great size Happy Father's Day. Time to celebrate. Here's to a great guy. And it's very simple. It's got a burger, some chips and a pickle. Over this side, this can be either a chopping board or it can actually be a tray for food. You've got some fire if you want to do a grill. You've got a capsicum or a chilli. I think that's for sauce and that goes in there. You've got a couple of flags, a knife with a handle. That's to cut your chips out, your pickle out, your burger out, some olives and a stick. So it's all there. So we're going to have a go with this today. I've come up with a bit of a card, not just a straight burger, because I'm going to use a play on you're kind of a big deal things. Now this is a set that you need to colour. I've seen a couple of cards where they've just stamped and black and white and then coloured behind. That's a possibility too, but it is one really that does involve a bit of colouring. So I am going to colour today, so hopefully you can sit back and enjoy it. Now for label on my card, I'm using the Something Fancy dies, and I'm going to pull this one out. We're going to use this one, just one. I did look at using two because this is lovely to set up one behind the other, but I decided that was too big. So I'm going to use that one and show you how you can use the one size to do a border. So let's pull this out on the road. We'll just pop the dies and the stamps there. We're going to pull in the trimmer. Hi Renee, I'm glad to be home. It's a very special weekend here, and I'll show you towards the end of the video why. So I had told my cardiologist and the surgeon and everyone, get me out of here. I need to be home for the weekend. So I'm just glad to be back. I may have to go back and have something done later on, but I'm glad to be back now. So I've just cut my cardstock different to what I normally do. I've cut it in half. And I'm going to cut this one so that it's a front piece. It's decided it's going to... No, we're back. And this one I'm going to score... Well, actually, we've found this new trick, remember. We're not using the scoring to fold the cards anymore. Someone taught us this trick. So I can't get it flat because of this bit, but there we go. So that's got it scored beautifully, and it's perfect. So now I'm just going to, on the front of the card, I am going to score though here, because we're making an easel card, so it will sit up like that, and this will go on the front here. Okay, so let's get a little bit of paper happening that we're going to need. I need a piece underneath, and I'm not sure what size I did. I'm thinking it might have been just the good old-fashioned 10. The 1/2 centimetre under, and 14.3. That will do. So that'll be the inside of the card. Now, on the front of the card, I want this to be fully on the front. This is the piece that's saying, yep, this is my burger. So I'm going to cut, and I can't remember exactly what I need to cut. I think I need to cut, says she, it's just over, it's 5.2. I know this is going to be a bit fiddly, isn't it? Let me cut off 2 off both sides and measure it. This is how I do it when I haven't done, and I should have measured what the size was. I know this will be a bit big because now I want it to be 10.5, and I am 1 mil under 11.5. So I need to cut off 4 mil on this side. And I'm going to cut 5 on this side. I'm going to put this on 10.5. And that way I've got it exactly halfway. Now I do need to cut off a couple of mil on each end too, because I want my... Well, actually... No, I do want it in the middle. So I'm going to cut off a little bit on this end and then put this at my 14.8 and cut a little bit off that end. So that's got me my centre in the centre. But I do have the base of this card that I need to put something on. And I want it to be 7.5. So that cuts it there. In fact, that's just a little bit more than what I want, because I don't want that white bit. So let's cut it like that, because I want it to draw you into the burger. And again, I need to cut this. And now I did what? I did 2 centimetres, and one needs to be 2.4, I'm guessing now. Yeah, that looks like it might be right. We'll find out. I'm back and I don't know what I'm doing. And this one should be this, which is 2.5. I think I did it. I think I've done it. So let's pull this away and start sticking the base together. But before I do that, I want to stamp on here. And I know that this is going to be like this. So let me get... I'm using shaded spruce, which is the same colour as the base of my card. And I want to put inside the card, Happy Father's Day. I'll just bring my mat in. So I know roughly this is going to be here. Roughly, let's get this all inked up. And we'll just stamp it here. Oh, good news, that worked. Sometimes I wonder. We'll just put that there. So let's pull this out again, and we're going to start putting this together. So we'll have our base of our card ready. So we'll put the insert in first. Now, this doesn't have to be a Father's Day card. It could be a birthday card. It doesn't have to be for a guy. You could do different colours, make it for a girl if they're into burgers. And this piece I'm putting down here, like so. Now, I like to get my fingers down on the edges and just make sure it's sitting exactly where I want it. And then while that's drying, let's pop this piece on the card base front. And this is how I do it. I just make sure it's sitting to the edges. And then I just take this piece, put glue only here on the flat bit, and then I sit it down flat and I put it all together so it all fits perfectly together how I want it to fit and display, so that when you get it in the envelope, it's like this. And we'll just give that a bit of a push to make sure it's happening. Put the lid on there, and there we have it. So there's the base. Hello, we're moving. I don't know why. Maybe this one's loose. My daughter's been in here playing. I'll have to check that out later. So that's it. So again, we're sitting like that. So that's the easel card. And you can do this with any card. So we'll just pop that aside here. And I'm going to bring in my stamping mat. And I hope I've got enough white paper here. I think I might. I'm going to stamp the burger 3 times. Yes. We're going to have 3 burgers. 1, 2. That's very light, but that's all right. I can make use of that. And that doesn't fit. I don't know why I thought that would be enough. Have I got some paper here? Let's pull out a piece of paper. I might have to use a new sheet. We'll just pull a piece off here. I'll just cut a bit off so that I don't have it all over the place. Yes, I need 3 burgers, in case you're wondering. And actually, since that one was a bit light, I'm going to do, I know I've lost the top, but I only need a middle. So to keep it so that we know what we're doing, we'll get rid of this middle one. And I'll just throw him over there and pop these away. Now I'm going to bring my colouring in. Oh, before I do that, I may as well get all the stamping done before I put my stamp mat away. I'm going to stamp on here. You're kind of a big deal. Oh, and it's crooked, but I might do it on the other side. It might make it easier. Gosh. That's a bit better. Easier to cut out. So, that's my stamping all done. Now the slow process of colouring in. And I'm sorry, but it is essential on this, and you'll see why. We need that bit too after. So we've got 3 burgers. The first thing I'm going to do, now I haven't touched all this for a week, so I have to check it all out. So I'm doing the right thing. Now I'm just going to colour in the top of this burger. And I'm just doing it very quickly. This, I think this blender pen is getting low again. This is crumb cake, which I think is perfect for a burger bun. No, I won't do that one. I'll do this one. So I've got the top of one bun and the bottom of another. Then I'm just going to take bits at a time as I pick them up. Here's that'll be the dark. I'll be coming back with the dark ones. Here's the granny apple green, so that's all for the lettuce. So let's quickly colour in the lettuce on every bun, because I want a triple burger. You know, blokes like to have nice big triple burgers. I couldn't eat a triple burger personally. Better not forget the bottom lettuce. You've got to decide a little bit yourself which bits are cheese and which bits are burger, but it doesn't. It sort of shows a bit too. There's a bit of runny cheese there. You'll see when I colour it in. So now we have this burger's lettuce done. And the lucky last burger. I must admit, blenders are my favourite form of colouring in. But I do also like the watercolour pencils with the blender pen. And I did have a little play with some of the burgers I was practising with. Now we've done that, we're going to use, get the cheese done. Let's get the cheese done. Bit of cheese there, and there. And I think there's a bit there too. And a bit there. It's sort of, if you haven't coloured it green, you colour it yellow. So there's the cheese done. Tomatoes. Of course, tomatoes are nice bright red, but I am going to I'm not actually doing all the tomato, I'm just using it for a bit of the inside, this light colour red. And then I'm going to come back with the dark red. And you'll see that in a minute. I'm going to do the same with the cucumber. I'm going to do the inside of the cucumber green, light green, and it's in the shaded spruce. Now, I'm going to be generous and put a line of green along here, and you'll see why when we get to cut these up and put them together. It just gives you a little bit more leeway. So let's now do the burger itself, and we're going to use pecan pie, the light pecan pie. I know it's a bit boring sometimes watching colouring in, but it won't take very long. Once I've done this, it's just a bit of highlighting. I hope you're all keeping warm on this cold day. It's wet and miserable out there in Ballarat. It's been raining all morning. But we do need the rain, and even the local farmers here that normally have overflowing tanks this time of year are having a bit of a struggle with water, so I'm okay with letting them have rain. So let's finish our cucumbers off. We'll put the dark shaded spruce for the peel. And this just helps give our burger a bit more 3D definition. And this one. And then the lettuce. That's actually a bit not working too well, that end. Let's use this end. Now, to give it some definition, I'm just actually putting some darker colour where they've got the extra lines. In the image, so that it sort of makes a bit of sense. That's the darker bits. Where the lettuce been folded over and squashed together. And no one's going to look that closely at your lettuce, or they're just going to look at the whole picture, so don't stress too much. Left that bit blank. So let's also put some definition into the bun. I like this big cross in the top. We'll colour that in. And again, we're just adding a bit of colour where the lines are. And there's only one bun at the bottom. What have we got left? We've got to do the tomato. So not only am I doing the rim or the edge of the tomato, I'm going up to where those lighter bits are in the centre, so that it gives that more definition of a tomato with its light and darker colours inside. We want this to look appetising. And of course we need some definition on the hamburger meat. So again, just on the lines with the darker pecan pie. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because no two burgers are the same. Right. So that's my burgers done, coloured, all finished. Now I have to cut them out. And I'm going to cut out my label too, and one of these to go behind it. So we'll bring in the Big Shot. We'll need the burger cutter to cut them out. Big Shot. I still call it the Big Shot. It's the cut and emboss machine. We called it the other for so long, but this is a new one, and it's a better one and a better style. So let's just first of all cut this bit out. So I'm only really worried about the two side bits on here where I've coloured. But it's easier to use the die than it is to fussy cut, so let's do this. And we will cut this out. See if I can get that straight. That's looking pretty good. Could go across a bit. That looks all right. And we'll put our top plate on. And hopefully, oh, I've just moved it. Don't you hate that? That needs to come across. I've got my hands in the road, have I? It's hard because it's on the side for me. Perhaps if I stand up and look down, I can get it straight. That looks a bit better. Right. Hi, Jane. I'm glad you're able to watch today. So we've cut one burger out. I've cut one label out. Get rid of these two pieces. Pop these two up the back here, ready? Let's push it back through because it's easier for me to set up on this side. We'll cut the next burger out. And I'm going to just put that there, put that at the end so I save all that for something else. We'll cut this one out. So we'll pop that one there, that for something else. I'll put that over there in my metal bowl, my magnetic bowl. That one can go there. And we have one burger to go. So let's do this. And our last burger's done. Pop him down there, and that in the middle bowl, and this over here. Now, I did say I'm making a triple burger, so I do need to do some fussy cutting. And that is, I need to cut, I don't want to have to cut all that out. I need a base for something to glue on there, but I do need to cut along here for this one, along the bottom of the lettuce. And I don't know if you can see that. Oh no. And I don't want any white showing. So those bits can go. Now I need to cut along the bottom of the lettuce for this one. And remember, with fussy cutting, keep your scissors still and move your paper. And this one I need to do similar to the top of that one, because I need an area to help glue them all together. But I don't want corners of the bun showing. So let's glue them together. So we'll take our base here and put some glue here and a bit of a row down there. And we're going to glue our burger on top there. And then we're going to do the same here. And glue this one on top. Now, if you hate fussy cutting a real lot and you want to do it easy, you could cut the lettuce bit off and just have the burger sitting on top of the pickles. And as for our "you're kind of a big deal," I'm going to take this and I want to cut it roughly in half. So, can you see down this end? Yes, you can. So I've got it here. It goes to 6.5, so just over 3 is half, but it really doesn't matter. You can eyeball it too, as I say, because you're not going to see the sides. And I'm just going to put some glue here. And I want the sides to be hidden underneath, so that helps tell me it's straight. And I can check in the back there too. And I'll do the same on the other side. And I'm just looking at the corners here and trying to match them up so it's the same distance apart, and make sure that it's hidden in behind. We're nearly there. So my burger's all done. It's all glued together nicely. We'll put some dimensionals on the back and hold it in place. I've forgotten one thing. Or we'll just get some of this organised. And I have one thing I have forgotten, and we can quickly do that. Because no burger, I'm going to leave that space for a minute, no burger is complete without, if you go to it. Look, I've done a line up. Not even looking where I'm going, just pulling them off. So that's my label done, ready. And my burger's nearly done, but I've forgotten to put on a flag. Now, so I'm going to use the toothpick stick, and I might do a double flag on it. So this is going to be quite easy. I'll just take this piece of paper. If you don't have, you could use just a piece of crumb cake or pecan pie paper, but if you don't have any, just take your dark, I did it with the dark, take your dark texture or whatever colouring you use and cut that out. And it's easy as that. So let's bring in the cut and emboss machine again. Can't have our burger without its little flag. You can see I've cut out a pickle previously. We'll just pop these down. And whip them through very quickly. Right. So there's our flag. It's stuck. And we'll get rid of this. Put that over in my tray. Now my toothpick, it's stuck over there too. There's my toothpick. Now, yes, it's very thin, and how we're going to do this, I found the easiest way was just put a little bit of glue there, and I popped it down on my board, and this is the beauty of having the glass board. Doesn't matter if I get glue on it. And I just put my flag up there, and while that's sitting, let's work out where we're going to put our label, because this is going to sit like so. So we'll, where have I put it? Here it is. We'll just take these off. And I want it to sit right in the middle here. You're kind of a big deal, and it is slightly crooked, but that doesn't matter. You know, if it was perfect, it wouldn't be a homemade card. So that'll sit up like that. Now, my flag's all stuck on. There is, when it cuts out, it makes a little hole here. Now you can put pickles on a stick or whatever, but I'm going to use my flag. And to hold it in place, I'm going to put a dimensional there, and I'll put one on the back so my flag sits up too. So let's get these dimensionals off. One off the flag too. I didn't think he'd come off. Oh, there he goes. No, I've lost my knack. I think they're coming now. It's a little flick type action to pull it up. Right, let's put this down here. And I can straighten my flag. And there's my card. One burger. You're kind of a big deal. Happy Father's Day. So that's one of the cards you can do. Now, I had a little play with this set. I'll just leave that to the side. I had a little play with this set, and I came up with this design also. Instead of putting the extra burger meat in, I've put the sign in between, and that's the top of the bun. I've coloured it to look like another burger, and I've made it into a big, long, tall burger. And then I've put the Happy Father's Day there and left room to write. So that's another design similar. But here's some other things. This is a big, long card. You're kind of a big deal. And Happy Father's Day inside with some chips, and I've got some pickles and olives, well, pickles, olives and chilies there. And I've done a little bit of flame behind it. And then I've done the same sort of thing with some chips, but this is using watercoloured pencils and a blender pen. And I've used the tray with the chips and a flag. And again, happy Father's Day. And this is the same thing again, only I've used it as a background stamp and stamped all over and coloured with the watercoloured pencils and blender pen and just done it that way. So they're just some ideas you can do with this. But before we go, I want to show you, I'll put this one of our card in the middle. I want to show you something special. And I'll just pop this on top for a minute. We'll cover this up. One of the reasons I had to get home this weekend is because we're having a special day tomorrow. My husband and I both had special birthdays this year. He had his 70th and I had my 60th. So we've decided to hold a party, and it's going to be a 1920s theme party. But this is the card, this is the invite I sent out. Now, it is sometimes good to hang on to the bits and pieces that you get from Stampin' Up. And these are actually the window dies that we had a few years ago, and I've used it as an Art Deco design on the front of my invite. And then we can open up and you can see here. Now there is, in this, there's 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15 die cuts. And they're all very intricate, and we've used a backing, the backing sticking, this thing, what do they call this thing? The sticking paper, adhesive sheets, the backing adhesive sheets on it. My husband and I did all the cutting. It took us days, but it was well worth it because now we have this gorgeous invite, and it says you're invited to a 30th birthday party, and then we can open it up again and we've put all the details in here. So, and it's a 1920s theme birthday party. So I just thought I'd show you that. That's what we're doing tomorrow. I will post some pictures on the on my page for you to see. But here's what you can do with your burgers, with your Bistro burger. So it's a great little set. As I said, it's, you get your burger stamps and your dies. And I'll just pop a couple of these back. So it cuts everything out. Your flag. It's a great set. I've actually had a lot of fun playing with it. I could go on and on and on play with it, but I thought I'd better stop somewhere. So I think I know what I'm doing for Father's Day for my husband. So here you are. Great design. I'm going to pop you back to me. Let's see if I can do this without causing too much upset. There's the blind. There I am. I always think it's fascinating, the technology we have today. Now, I know people use a lot more, I've got it a bit crooked, that's better. I know people use a lot more technical stuff than I do, but I still get amazed at what we can do today with what we've got. When you consider, you know, when I started work, computers were just something no one had. Anyhow, I'm going to go now. I've got a lot to get ready for tomorrow, and I'll share a lot of photos with you too. Hope you have a good weekend and stay warm. It is a bit of a cool one and it is very wet here. So all the best for the weekend, and I will catch you next week. Or the other thing is, while I was in hospital, just between you and me, I got a box and it's right behind me and I haven't opened it yet. And I might just jump on one day this week and do an unboxing and let's see what's inside it. So that might be a bit of fun we can have together, a bit of an unboxing of what's coming in the new mini catalogue, because I'm eager to see that as much. Well, no, the party's I'm more excited about, but I'm also excited to unbox all these new goodies I've got. All right, I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.